So, the militant, anarchist, communists, and atheists of Antifa, a terror organization, have decided to burn Bibles. And they also have attacked churches, they've torn down statues of saints and other things. And many Christians have said, why don't you do that to Islam and see what happens? And this has a double sword because it's spreading the stereotypes about Islam being violent, but it's also doing something even more sinister, is that certain Christians are not holding themselves accountable, and instead they're trying to make the enemy's hate turns towards Islam. Now, right now, Antifa does, in some aspects, defend Islam. That will change once they have fully destroyed Christianity. They mock it already openly, and some people who I follow on social media, who I do respect on their political opinions, they already have slowly started to mock Islam. So they're not immune to it. And these are not your average Joe Schmoes. These are people who are very well versed. And this is the thing. Christians have to hold themselves accountable for their failures. I have family in Italy, and I'll tell you that Rome is dead. The Catholic Church, Baptists, Methodists, Presbyterians, Lutherans, all of them, Mormons, all of them, have allowed charlatan people to speak for them, to manipulate the followers and get money, right? They allowed gangsters to get Jesus tattoos or the Virgin Mary, Virgin of Guadalupe tattoos, and gangsters wear rosaries. They allowed porn to be done with the Catholic schoolgirl theme, right? They allowed Hollywood to mock Jesus over and over and over, and all the films that Christians create are very just poorly done. Bad acting, bad writing, insufferable. They're just pure trash. The only good example I can think of a good Christian example of early Christians would be in the Netflix series The Last Kingdom, when the Christians were fighting with the pagans. Uh, Arthur and them, all of like those monarchs who they had in the like season 1 and season 2, they had that classic strong Catholic example, right? Today, it's they've allowed anybody who can just pick up their phone to start speaking for Christianity. They don't hold them accountable, right? They're so soft, and they've also allowed too much paganism into their faith, and they've also have a bad method of knocking on people's doors. That's something that has made them a joke. People don't like it when you come to their home and you knock on the door and they're missionaries. You're bothering people. Even if they side with you, it's like no one invited you. It's extremely rude. You have no right to show up to someone's house. You shouldn't do it. You should let them come to you. You don't see Jews, Muslims, and Buddhists doing that, right? So this is something that starts creating tension, right? Once you start bashing people over the head and being like, hey, I'm knocking on doors, it really bothers people. Mormons do it, Jehovah's Witnesses do it. It should stop. Number one, you should not do it. You'd get more people to come over to you if you stop doing that. Okay? So, again, a lot of pedophilia happens in the Catholic Church, and so many Catholics have not done enough about it. They should do a massive stand-in at the Vatican and make the Pope do something about it. But you allow it to happen, and then you wonder why no one wants to go to church. So stop getting jealous that the Jews, the Buddhists, the Muslims don't allow their religion to be mocked. So you have Jews in the financial sector who will pretty quickly stomp that out, right? And that's cool for them. Muslims, they're strict with each other. Don't start creating art of the Prophet and other things because we all know it leads to mockery. We know this, right? But Christians have allowed art like the Pissed Christ, which was literally a crucifix of Jesus in a jar of human urine to be displayed in a museum. You allowed somebody to take a holy thing and put it in a jar of piss. right? See, there's a difference between American freedom in the sense of free market capitalism and the freedom of to debate philosophy and ideas than to just allow and never do anything about the mockery of your faith. Christians have allowed themselves to become so weak and fragile. They allowed it. They need to stop pointing the finger and start looking in the mirror and saying, what can I do better? And also, for the Christians standing on the street corner, spewing things about you're gonna burn in hell, and God hates faggots, and God hates people who join the military, like the Westboro Baptist Church people, that's not gonna convince anybody. Christians gotta start holding other Christians accountable. See, if I notice something about the Muslim community, you say something inaccurate, they correct you. It blows my mind how well versed they are. They pray 5 times a day, and Christians only go, many of them, if you did some statistics, they only go to church maybe once every 2 weeks, rarely, and then barely on Easter and Christmas. And they probably haven't read anything outside Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, right? Or the Revelation. Everybody is obsessed with the book of Revelation, right? So that's a problem. They don't even read their own Bibles, and they allow any company to just make Bibles and change words and add things in. And then they get mad that no one takes their religion seriously. The Jews don't allow it. The Muslims don't allow it. The Buddhists are still pretty pure. They allow you to write about it, right? And they already say, like, hey, the Buddha was not anything divine. He was just a person, and his disciples wrote it down, right? So this is something, and like another example, you got to work hard to be a Buddhist monk most of the time, right? I know in Myanmar there's some drama going on, so we'll excuse that. But think about it. The path that the Buddhists say, it's tough work. It's tough self-discipline. Jews as well. They have a lot of rules. Muslims, praying 5 times a day, solidifying their faith with their creator. Christians are very lazy. Many of them are very lazy. If you're Catholic, how many saints can you name? Can you name the different positions in the hierarchy? Right? Do you make sure to check on those priests who are in your cathedral? Check out their social media, see what they're doing, right? Think about it. And churches have, fallen towards trying to get young members by being, political. The church, needs to go back to the old way of really having a higher standard. Really having... Yes, the Protestants and the Catholics went at it in England and such. This is true. However, those people knew more about their religion than the Christians do today. So you need to fix that. Stop getting jealous over how people are more halting towards picking on Muslims. And instead, focus on what you can do to improve your faith's reputation. Create some good shows, right? Do something, write profound books. But stop putting the person on the front of your book who's smiling and is like, guess I found Jesus. It's like, because people don't fall for that. You've allowed just too much saturation in the market. So much. South Park has mocked it. Family Guy has mocked it. There's people who make shirts of Jesus riding on the back of a dinosaur with an AK-47, right? You've allowed it. And you haven't produced new works outside of the Renaissance period. All the Italians did all the art. The Italian Renaissance. They did all the art. Christians today are not even strong enough to go to church consistently, read their Bibles consistently, right? They won't put in the work, and then they wonder why people don't take them seriously. You have to compete on another level. You can't just scream people and say, you're gonna go to hell, you're gonna burn in hell. You have to do something. Antifa is coming for you. They're attacking your churches. They're burning Bibles without punishment. They're burning the American flag. They're trying to bring in communism. Communism is no friend to religion. Mao, Stalin, Lenin, Kim Jong-un, they've all showed you what happens. They've shown you. what communists think of religion, right? Communism cannot work with religion. Anarchists, that philosophy, that political system cannot work with religion because religion is ordered. You have to also read many types of books so that you know the right rhetoric, vocabulary, grammar, and patterns of thought that you can argue with these militant atheists, because the universities are producing militant atheists consistently. They mock your faith and you let them. You let anyone call themselves a Christian and you don't hold their feet to the fire. You have to put in the work. You have to look at yourself and say, hey, what can I do to be better in my religion, right? Think about it. All you see is Christians standing outside abortion clinics whining and with signs. That's not going to be the only way to get women to stop committing abortions, right? You have to be stronger than the porn industry. You have to be stronger than Hollywood. You cannot let Hollywood control the narrative of your faith. You have no one to blame but yourself. The people of the past, during times of the Crusades, during medieval Europe, during all this, those people put in the work, and some of them did it poorly. But even the average peasant in feudalistic Italy knew more about their religion than most Christians do today in an age where technology is out there. Put in the work, read your Bible, study, and be serious, and start actually talking about it in an intelligent, non-annoying way. Work on your faith and stop trying to get Muslims attacked just because you're so weak. Be stronger, be better, be smarter, be more intelligent, all that good stuff. You have to fight people who want to override you with many types of modes of warfare. Psychological, creating schools just for religious people. You have to come together too, right? Why don't you have people dress more modest in church? Why are you letting your Christian girls look like whores? Why? And if you don't know how to make them stop dressing like that, you don't know how to get the boys off of porn, you don't know how to get them out of, the gang culture, and this is including Mexicans as well. You don't hold the cartels accountable for wearing, the Virgin Mary iconography and then committing mass crimes against children and killing peasants, right? Killing regular people, right? You have to really think about it. How many gangsters wear religious stuff while they rap about killing people and selling drugs that ruin lives? And you've allowed it, and you let your kids listen to it. And then you let celebrities like Beyonce or Jay-Z or anyone else wear your religious stuff and speak for you when they are living a life that is the opposite of what the biblical values are. So people mock you for it because you're not consistent. You have to make your faith stronger. Stop trying to get the Antifa militants to attack Islam. Stop.